think that had they not liked what Hitler was doing, they should have put up a barrier by just stopping him. I think as long as they were going along with what he said, I mean, they can be charged for whatever war crimes they want. But I think that they should be charged for war crimes on a humanitarian basis rather than just conspiracy. Because technically, if we were to turn it around the other way, if the Germans had won, we would be charged for the same exact thing, only without the humanitarian side. The charge is more serious because of all the people they executed, or at least gave the order to execute. So, I mean, yeah, they had the choice to walk away. I mean, some of them tried. They tried to assassinate Hitler, but that didn't go too well. But I mean, as far as what Taylor was saying, you can do that. You can try to walk away, and if not, be a martyr for your cause.
Fair enough. Jackie, your thoughts and over the line.
Well, no, like, you always have a choice to do whatever you want to do, but in this circumstance, like Mackenzie was saying, you're under Hitler, no less. Like, he is probably the one person I would be terrified if I ever met back then. Like, I would bow down to him, love him. I couldn't do it, and I'm probably the one person who would rebel against anything I did not agree with. But in certain circumstances, sometimes you have to be selfish almost. Like, you have to kind of almost protect your family. And I understand what Taylor and Hannah were saying about you could save millions of people's lives, but when you're in that moment, when you have that going through your blood, you're not thinking about all the rest of these millions of people. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about how you can protect your family, how you can protect yourself. And in that circumstance, you cannot run away from Hitler. Hitler will find you. It's like that big brother thing that we read about in Humanities over, he's watching you. He is completely watching you, and there's no running away from him.
Got it. Excellent. Lauren and then Dave? Yep.
I agree with Chad, by the time it got to this point, the choice was no longer there, but they already knew, he had spelled it out in his book what he was planning on doing. You signed up with Hitler, you knew you were persecuting Jews and other people. And secondly,
Right. That's a great comment.
All
right, sure enough. Okay. Dave, yes, go ahead.
I actually agree 100% with Jackie. I actually think that, I agree that these people, they can't think rationally in this type of situation, and they're not actually walking through these camps seeing these types of things and just pointing out a gun and shooting these people type thing. So they have no personal connection to those people, so they don't feel as bad as they should.
So they're just signing the order, validating everything.
I'm not saying what they did was good. I'm just saying that this is the personal connection to them isn't as great. So that way, it doesn't make it flee.
You just signed a million.
I'm sorry.
You can't say that you're going to flee the country until you're in that situation, because there's no pressure on you right now.
I wouldn't put myself in the situation in the first place.
How do you know that?
I know that.
Look at me. I'm the one person who would rebel against anything. Come on now. I'm the one person who says, hey, don't make fun of inner city kids. Don't do this. Don't do this. I rebel against everything. And I'm saying, I hate this. I hate the fact that the Holocaust happened. I hate everything that happened here. But what would you do in that situation? Not do it. Think about it. What if Hitler's pointing a gun at you and saying, I'm going to kill you right now? Would you just die? You wouldn't care.
Oh my God.
As a weekend, they're taking away millions of families' lives. Honestly, right now, I would sacrifice my own family rather than sign away millions of other families. For millions of other families? Oh my God, yeah.
You wouldn't be the only person.
Cool, then I feel good about myself.
No, you can.
The Holocaust would rather die than live. You're not. The Holocaust would happen regardless.
Okay, hang on.
That's true. Not if you can do it.
Okay, hang on. All right, you probably can't hear what Kyle's saying because he's right up in the front. Kyle, would you just say what you just said?
Oh, I said you wouldn't feel anything because you'd be dead. So I mean, as much as you want to rebel against it, and you feel good as a person and whatever, you'd be dead, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, I'd rather be dead than live.
Honestly, yeah, I would have to live
Okay,
myself.
wouldn't anybody else in this room besides Hannah and Taylor just sort of sacrifice yourself rather than be complicit?
No, it would have happened regardless.
I'm selfish.
Okay, Chad.
You'd like to say,
Hang on, Chad.
I know,
In this situation, what they were doing is so, I don't know how someone can justify signing an order that would, and result in the death of so many people. I mean, I guess the thing is just there were a large number of people that acted in that couldn't have done everything that he did, and he couldn't, all of his plans wouldn't have worked out, and he couldn't have, retaliated against the people that disagreed with him. That everybody was thinking of themselves is what caused it to go on that long.
They're talking about selfless people below.
Yeah, it's human nature.
We live in
That
America.
you're thinking of yourself and you're thinking of your family.
Yeah, look out for number one.
You would have signed those orders.
You're entire different people, dude. It's not just your family.
And at the same time, if you've been raised on this your entire life, like this isn't a matter of like a year where Hitler was doing this. He had been instituting and brainwashing this entire civilization for like 10 years, 10, 12 years. So, say this starts when you're 10 years old. You're very, malleable when you're 10. So by the time you get to 18, by the time you get to 20, and you have an opportunity to be part of this, what are you going to believe? Whether you like it or not, looking back on it, you're brainwashed.
For sure. And again, like Lauren said, it's almost like the choices evaporate, in a sense. And that's a great comment, and that was a comment from you I was struck by, for sure. Well, the prosecution made their charges, the defense made their arguments. Can we just for a moment swing back to question number 22? One of the things that the Nazis complained about was who sat in judgment of them. How many judges were there, Lauren?
There's
8,
8.
and there was 2 from each of the victorious countries. 2 Americans, 2 Brits, 2 French, and 2 Soviets. None of them were Germans. And the German defendants said, we want some German judges there. This is not a fair trial until there are Germans.
Okay, you can have 2. We'll just take the other 8 instead.
But hang on for a minute. Don't they have a valid point saying like, yeah, this is not a fair trial because all of the judges are from the winning nations?
But 2 German Jews never left hands. That's not the judges. There you go. You get your 2 Germans.
Okay, and Jeff?
I would just like to know what they would think about this decision to reverse. Like, do you think there even would have been a trial? Or any semblance of trial?
Absolutely.
For sure. If they did in the conquered nations, I mean, how could you expect to be treated with complete fairness after the way you subjected the wills of other people?
Yeah, good point. Good point. But hang on, Andrew, in a way, don't the Nazi defendants sort of have a point here that this is not a fair trial and it wasn't from the beginning?
I don't think so. I think that the Western legal system, at least with the juries, how lawyers are able to weed out people that they think will have some sort of bias against it. I mean, that would be the same thing, only a bias for the Germans. The judges, the prosecutors didn't want there to be anybody who would break up their case, so they chose not to allow those people to be Germans.
The Swedish judges.
But I think that to put it like, it most likely would have had to be 2 Nazi judges. I think to put them up on the stand with the rest of them would have showed that you're willing to cooperate with the people that you're trying to prosecute. And they didn't want to show that. They wanted to show that these are people that we need to rid the planet of. We can't have remnants of this empire left.
Right.
We need to get rid of them. So why bother having them up? And like some people said, they would have been outvoted anyway.
This is all true. These are valid points. But on the other hand, Kyle, don't the Nazi war criminals sort of have a point here? This is not a fair trial.
I don't think they have any point. I mean, they're lucky they didn't get one, really warmongering American Jew as a judge. I mean, to get 8, that evens your chances of being, fair. I mean, you just killed 6 million people. How fair do you want things to be on your part?
Right. Good point. Dave?
I don't think it's fair on the point of, not on the point of the judges, but on the point that these judges are feeling so much pressure from back home to get rid of these people that they already, in their minds already, they're already thinking who's going to die, who's going to be put in jail.
Good.